So, hello everyone. Welcome to the showcase of Mahshid Mahboubifar'S amateur pet. Today we will have a talk with Mahshid, but before I would like to introduce her. Mahshid Mahboubifar'S is an artist who is mainly working with archived images and data. Her practice includes installation, video art, and performance art. She studied a master's in digital media at the University of Arts in Bremen, and currently she is living in Leipzig and studying at the Academy of Arts Leipzig. So, hello, Mahshid.
Hi everyone who is watching us. I don't know how many people we have there, but yeah.
How are you feeling now?
Sorry?
How are you feeling now?
Yeah, I feel good. I just installed my work today and it feels good to be finished with the installation part. And also I feel very excited to share it with others for the first time.
That's nice. So I met Mahshid last year because I wanted to visit my friend in Bremen, and we had a very nice film screening and a small workshop there. And Mahshid told me about her artwork that she's planning to install, which was called Oil Curse at that time. And I was fascinated, and it was very interesting for me to learn about her artwork and how it links to herself and her home and her family and her life in Germany as well. So we wanted to introduce her artwork during the Migration Festival. But yes, due to the COVID-19 situation, we couldn't really bring her artwork to the offline festival. But we are lucky enough to have an online event because Mahshid will show her artwork, the amateur pet, tomorrow offline. And it's only for her school, the people who are related to her school. So everyone who's tuned in now are very lucky enough to actually enjoy and see her artwork one day before she shows it to the public. So welcome everyone. And I hope you all have a nice time today. And if you have any questions or if you have any comments, please feel free to write it down there. So, Mahshid, can you please describe your work?
Maybe I will first show a video of the exhibition, and then after that I will describe it. So I will share my screen with you. Do you also have the sound? Yeah. Okay. Okay, that was it.
Thank you for your great artwork. It's many people are now commenting that it's very nice, and I also felt that this is a very grand and complex artwork. And I was very curious about the last scene as well. So would you please explain a bit more in detail about your artwork?
Yes, sure. Let me share my screen again. Okay. Oh, do you have my screen now? Okay, perfect. So this exhibition is called Amateur Pet, and there are some documentations here. I start from the idea, or where I had the idea to do this. It was a few years ago that I was watching a political discussion, and then I heard for the first time about the word in Persian, Nefrine Naft. In English, it's oil curse. And back then, it was very interesting to me that I just wrote it down, and I hanged it on my wall in my room. And about 2 years after that, when I was coming to Germany for the first time, without any specific reason, I took the note with myself, along with some photos of my family, friends, some postcards and different things which would remind me of home. And I brought it to Germany. And after 1 year, 1.5 years, I was looking at the stuff that I had in this box. And that was when I again confronted this word, and I felt very strange about it, because it was exactly the time that the situation in Iran was very complicated. There were many protests going on. The inflation rate was dramatically increased, and there was a very difficult situation. And then I felt that this word, or this curse, is still with me, even though I'm not in Iran, I'm in Germany. So I started to think about it more, and I also wanted to learn about it. I think maybe the most important thing in this project was that I learned a lot from it. Also, so many things about Iran that I didn't know before. And yeah, I will read a description of my work. Oil is a purely natural substance in which great quantities of space and time have been compressed into a concentrated form. It has been existing before humans and was later discovered by them. A curse is a non-physical human-made concept, which, unlike oil, is not discovered but fabricated. The word is often used to describe an embodied evil, causes misery, great harm, or misfortune. In the term oil curse, using the word curse after such material seems to take the responsibility out of human hands and gives it to an unknown non-physical creature. Amateur pet is an attempt to materialize the so-called curse in a seemingly living creature. To do so, I used the historical OPEC oil prices from 1980 to 2020 and translated them to a breathing rhythm. I will read a short explanation about what oil curse means in political science, or in politics in general. The political and economic dysfunction known as the oil curse is a complex structural phenomenon caused largely by poor management or investment of oil revenues by the government of oil-producing countries. Among minerals, petroleum, which accounts for more than 90% of the world's minerals trade, produces the largest problems for the greatest number of countries. Yeah, that's where I started my work. First, starting to find out and learn what oil curse is, and then trying to find out what are the reasons. And there are actually so many reasons and so many different factors which make it a curse. And the most important one is basically bad decisions of the government. But among everything that I had to use some kind of data to make my installation. So I decided to use OPEC oil price, and I collected the historical OPEC oil prices from 1960 until 2020. OPEC was founded in 1960. That's why I wanted to use it from the beginning. But like the importance of oil in Iranian economy was somehow starting from 1980. And yeah, so I started using it from 1980 until 2020. And yeah, here is also a graph to see the changes in the price and how it develops. And yeah, that was a short part of the research. If you have any question or I don't know, any idea at this point.
So thank you very much for this nice presentation. I just have one request. Since we saw the details, or we heard of the details of your artwork, and we saw the prices and the graphs, I think it would be very nice if we can see your artwork once again, because when I saw the graphs, I can kind of visualize how the creature, amateur pet, was moving. But before I saw the graph, it just felt like this creature is moving. But now, since I saw the graph, I want to see if it's really moving according to the calculation.
Yeah, so I show the video and then again we come back to the procedure of how I made it. 1 second. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Should I continue with the slides? Or do you have some questions at this point?
Yes. I want to just announce anyone who has questions to Mahshid, please don't hesitate. Just put your question underneath in the chat and Mahshid will be happy to answer to your questions. Well, one question that I had in mind is you showed us the sticky note that you noted down after watching this political discussion. Mm-hmm. When was the moment that you determined or you wanted to actually transform your note from the sticky note into the amateur pet, into a living creature?
Yeah, as I said, it was, I cannot say exactly when, because last 2 years, it was always a conflict situation in Iran, but it was like one of those moments that I was feeling very sad about, also like feeling completely useless and passive, like I felt I have no power and I cannot do anything. And then I felt this curse is with me and maybe any other person who, it doesn't matter if you live in Iran or somewhere else. I mean, it's much worse for people who live there because they are living inside the situation. I'm mainly like someone who is looking or just reading about the situation from outside. But yeah, it was, I mean, like the moment that I started to make it or like try to make it was also beginning of one of the courses that I had here with one of my professors, Ralph Becker. The course was called Super Deep Media, and it was about the artworks which were related to the earth. And I thought crude oil or oil is could be very much related. And then like being in this course and having this idea or like this interest in this term from before made me more motivated to start making it. But yeah, at the beginning, I was trying to make it like I had a very different idea. Maybe I again share the not PowerPoint, what is it called? Yeah, here, the slides. So at the beginning, I wanted to use the, like to get some small amount of crude oil. I didn't know how and where from, but I wanted to get it. And because this material looks so ugly, so disgusting, and it has a very unpleasant smell, I thought I could use this as like as a way to embody this curse, because it's already a very like it's the perfect material for what it's called. And then I started looking for it. I wrote emails to some oil refinery companies, and I asked them if they could give me any amount of crude oil. And some of them replied and they asked how much I need. And I didn't know how, like asking for how much could be possible. I didn't know like how much would be fine to ask for. So I asked between 5 liter to 100 milliliter, but at the end they didn't give me any. And it was also interesting that the whole time they were calling me Herr Mahboubifar. And because it also happened with another professor, which like once I sent a proposal to him about oil curse, and then when I met him, because he didn't remember my name, it's it was not easy for him to realize if it's a woman or a man. And then he told me that he thought I'm a guy because this subject is something that I don't know. And yeah. So yeah, I tried to contact several companies to get a bit of oil, but I couldn't. Then I decided to do it differently. I wanted to like make this, like materialize this curse, which is usually just a non-physical thing. I wanted to give it a body, and I thought I would like to let it breathe somehow. And then during my research, I got to know this German artist, Nils Volkau, which who works a lot with fans and like breathing forms. Maybe I will show a video from his works because I was very much inspired by him. 1 second. This project. Maybe later, if someone is interested, can check out his works. They are really interesting. And yeah, I got to know him, and I actually learned a lot from his works, like technique-wise, how to make this whole thing. Usually his works are very simple. They are like an animation with air, and like the name or the title of the works are the exact number of the balloons that they are, or the bags, airbags that he is using. And yeah, I learned a lot from him and how he was making his works, or like what he was sharing on his website. And I started to like make some drawings of how I'm going to make it. First, it was like without thinking that much about the techniques, I was trying to just think how would I like it to look. And these are some early drawings. But later I realized that with the because I'm using fans and Arduinos, and with those material, I could not really like they wouldn't work for this early drawings that I made. So I started to change the form during the process of making it. Yeah, as I said, it's made of fans and Arduinos, and under this ugly black thing, there are several plastic bags, and there are two series of fans. Some are inflating and some are deflating. And yeah, the like breathing rhythm or the delay in between is based on OPEC oil price. I also tried different material from the beginning because I had this idea to use crude oil. Later, I decided at least I will use a material which are based on oil or made out of oil. So I tried different things, but they were not what I wanted, and they were too soft and like too beautiful to be a curse somehow. So at the end, I made it with foil, and it was like ugly enough. I was even getting this comment from my professor that this is disgusting, great, and I was like, thank you. Or like, it's really creepy, and I was like, thank you. And yeah, this is like these photos are from the first prototype that I made. And yeah, that's how I made it. Oh, and there was also like in the exhibition, there is this installation and there is a video. The video, I made it from the early photos of the first oil well in Iran. In these photos, the most interesting part for me was the mountain. I didn't like this oil well, which was looking so ugly and out of place. So I removed them and I just kept the smoke there. And yeah, later I made this video out of these photos and the smoke that I collected from different photos. And yeah, documentation are done by Gia, my friend. And that's what I had to say about the work. And
thank you. So I want to say your art, like amateur pet, looks disgusting.
thank you. I am so happy to hear that.
And it's creepy. I really wanted to say this because when I first saw this artwork, it felt like it looks more like this leftover from used oil, and it looked very dirty and disgusting, and it felt like it stinks, and it felt like it's gonna be sticky, and these different feelings really came into my mind when I first saw this artwork. So I didn't know there were so many different motivations behind this projection. So I'm very thankful. And yes, thank you, Chie, once again for all the documentation. It was great. Yes, so I wanted to kind of mix up some questions. My next question was about what are the so-called oil curses you experience or witness throughout your life or throughout your daily lives. You already mentioned a bit about how you felt the last 2 years, but I wanted to ask a bit more in detail because it was interesting that you connected the oil curse to your own self because you said you felt like you're cursed. And I think this is a feeling that many of us will share during the corona situation. So I wanted to ask you about this part.
It's a difficult question because I think if I want to name, maybe there are many of them, but I cannot decide which one to talk about exactly. But maybe just also because it's November now, I would say one of these oil curses was, or like one of the time that it was really feeling bad was exactly last November, which the fuel price got expensive, and then people in Iran were protesting. Of course, it was not only just because of the oil price, because I mean, not everyone have a car or drive a car, but when oil gets expensive, everything gets expensive, like bread gets expensive. And during last November, for a week long, we had a total shutdown of internet in Iran. and there were so many protests going on. And it was a very strange moment. I could not, contact my family, my friends, and it was feeling very, very uncomfortable. And yeah, I really felt we are all cursed at that time, because there was no media like informing others that much about the situation. And I could not call or contact my family or friends. I was just seeing some videos from, I don't know, like different websites showing how difficult the situation is. And so many people were arrested, and so many people were killed by the government. And it was really like, yeah, I would say that was one of them, one of the worst recent one.
Yeah, thank you for sharing, and I'm sorry for the difficult time you had to go through. Actually, we were in contact during this time, and I know how hard it was for you. So thank you for sharing. And yeah, maybe that's why your amateur pet looks even more disgusting because
Yeah.
you have all this feelings projected to the pet. So yeah, I also know that you visited Iran recently this year. So can you kind of share a bit about your experience, how it was in Iran and how it is to live as a migrant apart from your family in another country during the situation of a pandemic?
Yeah, I traveled to Iran in February, and just 1 week after I was there, I planned to be there for 3 weeks, and just 1 week after I was there, they informed about COVID cases, so many infected people, and soon my tickets got canceled. And it was a very strange feeling. At the beginning, I was really worried because I had so many things to do and deal with. And then, yeah, it was a difficult time. But after a while, I felt really relaxed somehow, because there was nothing going on anywhere. And I could spend the time, or like my whole day, with my parents without thinking of anything else which was happening. So at the end, it was somehow a good, relaxing time. And I had to stay there for about 3 months. And the reason that I said it was a bit stressful was that I had to deal with my master thesis. And back then I didn't have this material there. So I started with the video. The video, I made it in that time. And yeah, it was, in general, as I said at the beginning, it was very stressful to know all of this, like to have all of these new rules. And like I was going to Iran to meet my friends and hang out with them. Then I had to stay at home. But then it somehow really helped and made my relationship with my parents much better, because we felt that we have to stay at home all together. And it was somehow like we were tolerating each other more than before. And at the end, it was just feeling good to be together and do things together. And yeah, that was really nice.
That's nice to hear.
Yeah. And about being a migrant in Germany, I think the most difficult thing was, and still is, the language, because most of the time I feel I feel like an outsider, but it's also maybe my fault because I have to learn the language. But anyway, I mean, when I sit in a bus or train and I hear other people speaking for a long time, I couldn't understand what they are talking about. So I was all in my mind, like just thinking about different things. It was somehow like I was living here, but in my mind I was somewhere else. But I think this. I mean, I feel much more comfortable now. I feel more like home here, much more than before. I think for many people it takes a while, but after a while it starts to feel like home or like the second home.
Yeah, that's really nice. Maybe because you have lovely people around you.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yes. I think many of you who are tuning in right now, or who are gonna watch this video later on, can also um, share the feelings that we had during the COVID-19 situation. Because for me, it was also very difficult to deal with uncertainty every day. And
Mm-hmm.
you have information from the country your family is living in only through the news or only through the messages of your family or friends or loved ones. So it was very difficult for me to handle with the situation because I was always worrying too much about them, even though the situation here was also getting very bad. And
Mm-hmm.
then the plane air tickets were gone and it was not easy to travel to another country. And then I felt like one of my leg or arm are broke because I couldn't meet them in person as easy as it was before. So this was a very hard time, and I think I also felt somehow being cursed. And then I was dreaming of a day that this curse will be gone, and I will
Mm-hmm.
have another good Pacific day. However, yes, even now when I'm talking with you, I feel like yes, we feel sometimes that we are cursed, but also there are very little moments that I feel so happy and I feel so loved. And these little moments are accumulated to become a big moment and a big lifespan. So maybe we are cursed, maybe not. And hearing from you that you were feeling very bad and frustrated, but now you're feeling comfortable and cozy, and also you had a good relationship with your parents. Sounds like it's a curse, but also it's not.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. After like after I was sure that there is no ticket to come back to Germany, I was even thinking that maybe it's good that now I'm in Iran. Otherwise, I would be too stressed and too nervous about my family, or like how they are dealing with it, because like to be there and feel the situation is really different from what you read in the news or what they tell you. Because like when I was there, I was seeing that yeah, we are all nervous, but we are getting used to it, or we are like trying to help each other to deal with the situation. So yeah, I think I was somehow lucky that during that time I could be with my parents. Otherwise, I would be in Germany and too stressed and nervous about their health and their situation.
Right. Sometimes I wish I have 3, 4 bodies so I can
Mm-hmm. Be
send
everywhere.
to there
Yeah,
and there and there.
yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Um, yes, it was very nice to see amateur pet and also listen from you how the pet got its life and
Mm-hmm.
also the motivations behind your artwork. And thank you very much for sharing your references. Um, it sounds like you conveyed your own narrative through this artwork, even though it started from oil curves and the oil prices. It feels to me right now that it also has a very complex mixture of how you felt during the time?
Yeah,
Wrote down?
I had a very, very like complex feeling about it, because like first I was very motivated to make it. For a long while I was just doing research and I didn't know how to make it. And then for a while I was like, no, I'm not going to make it because I don't know how to make it. And it's because it's connected like to all of this history. I was feeling a bit responsible, and I didn't want to, I don't know, it was a bit difficult to feel like I can do it. Even until like 2 months ago, I was thinking that I will stop at this moment. I won't do it anymore. But I was really like lucky with it, because all of this research and plus the material that I had suddenly quickly started to form. And I quickly felt like this is what I wanted. And yeah, it was really good to, after like thinking about it and reading about it and talking about it, I was talking about it a lot. It was really nice to see it as a thing which is like really breathing and exists. And first I made it at home, and like the name also comes a bit from there, because we were just sitting and I turned on the creature and it was breathing on the background, and it was really looking like a pet living there. But yeah, pet is also the short form of petroleum, so it was a bit of, yeah.
Yeah, when you say it was like a pet, then I can also imagine it as a very big pet living in your living room and breathing or sleeping the whole day, right?
Yeah, exactly.
um, yeah, it was very nice today, and I want to go to the last question. What does hashtag migration mean to you?
I think it feels good that I can speak for myself, and instead of very exaggerated, exotic image or like information or whatever that is the first thing that people can access, like I can tell my own story and just let them decide if it's exaggerated or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't agree more. Thank you very much. And I'm very glad that we can do this event online. As I said, as we agreed before, it's a curse, but also on the other side, it's not a curse, because many people, maybe your family members or your friends or relatives in Iran, and also me who's living in Berlin, can also see your amateur pet and also listen from you how it all came from. So I'm very happy about today's event. Thank you very much, Mahshid, for sharing everything with us. And yeah, I have a lot in my head now, but one very shocking moment was that the oil companies were replying to you as Mr. So I learned one thing, when you're, even if it's a student artwork regarded to crude oil, then people will think you're a man because it's a very masculine subject.
It's also interesting that like during my research, I also realized one of the things that happen with this oil curse is that most of the jobs available in the country would be for men. And yeah, that was really interesting, that how it has an impact on like women's life. Yeah, but I have to do more research about it, and maybe next time.
I'm very excited for the next one too. Yes, so thank you very much for showing amateur pet. I hope the pet can breathe well till tomorrow, so many visitors can also enjoy the air of your feelings within the pet. And one small wish I have now is that I wish maybe in the near future that when you present this amateur pet again, it can be more of a retrospective version, which means that the oil curse already terminated. So I hope this oil curse and this very masculine, stupid power game can terminate in the near future so we can just laugh about it and talk about it in a retrospective way. Thank you very much for contributing to the hashtag migration event.
Thank
And
you for letting me sharing my work with you.
thank you. And I hope you all have a nice evening.